Hello friends, this is Tim Collins coming to you again with our weekend word. I want to talk about faith today and what faith does for us. You've heard me say that there is a spirit realm, spirit world that is just as real as this physical world that we're on. And the spirit world is where God is, the spirit activity takes place. And that spirit world can't be perceived by our human senses. Our eyes can't see what's in the spirit world. Therefore, it's dangerous to try to live in sight by what we can see. We have to live by vision, which is by what God sees, what's in the spirit world. It's a lot different from what's in our world. But how do you perceive what is in that spirit world that our human senses can't tell us about? I go to that key verse, Hebrews 11:1, which talks about faith. Faith is the key that helps us perceive what's going on in the spirit world. Now, before I read that, let me say a couple of things about it. In the first place, I don't think that you can take this sentence, this verse, as a definition of faith precisely. I know a lot of people say it is, but I don't think you can do that. You can't take any single verse or any single sentence in the Bible, with the possible exception of a couple of proverbs perhaps, and take that just individually and develop a teaching about it. Say that is all there is to be said about something. It has to be taken in context of everything else the Bible says about a topic. And in this case, if you've listened to me talk, you've probably heard me say that the chapter 11 of Hebrews, what we call the great faith chapter, should actually be taken with the last paragraph of chapter 10 of Hebrews and the first paragraph of chapter 12 of Hebrews. That is one large essay on persevering by faith. Hanging in there because we can see what God sees. We can perceive that spirit world. So in that context, Hebrews 11:1 says, "Now faith is being sure of what we hope for and certain of what we do not see." The King James Version, most of us can quote, says, "Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen." Just a little bit of a rabbit trail. I like the way the verse starts, taken in our English vernacular. Now faith is. Not one day faith will become, or faith used to be, but faith is. Now faith is. Faith is how we look into the spirit world. Andrew Murray, the great preacher, said back in 1894, he wrote, "Just as we have our senses through which we hold communication with the physical universe, so faith is the spiritual sense or organ through which the soul comes into contact with and is affected by the spiritual world." Just as the eyes are the organs that allow us to see images created by light reflections, in the physical world, faith is the organ, the sense by which we perceive what goes on in the spirit world. Hebrews 11:1 says faith gives tangibility. I think this verse, rather than being a definition, is a response to the implied question, how can we hold on and persevere when we can't see what's going on, when we don't know what's going on in the spirit world? And the answer to that is faith gives tangibility to those things that are in the spirit world. How can we hang in there when we can't see anything happening? Faith is what gives vision to what cannot be seen. Faith is how we perceive what's going on in the spirit, how we see what's going on in the spirit world, is because we trust God. Hebrews 11:27 on down in that chapter, speaking of Moses, said, "By faith he left Egypt, not fearing the king's anger. He persevered because he saw him who is invisible." He saw him who is invisible. Moses could go out of Egypt, face the Red Sea, because his belief in God, his faith in God, allowed him to see what could not be seen with the natural eye. It'll do the same thing for you. Whatever battle you face, whatever Red Sea you face, whatever armies behind you chasing you, faith will allow you to perceive what's going on in the spirit world, which is where God is taking care of business. The Bible says that He makes everything work together for our good when we love Him. Well, I hope you'll be in church somewhere Sunday worshiping God in spirit and in truth. God bless you. We love you.